going to hit record now. Here we go. So welcome along to another installment of the Joined by Jeff Zoom sessions, talking to wedding experts in their field. And it's been a pleasure to have you along so far, apart from within this series so far. So now, someone I've had the pleasure of working with and continue to work with in the future is Alex from Wild Rose Events. And so it's great to have her here this evening. And so I guess the first question I always ask all these wedding suppliers is, where did your business come from? Why is it called Wild Rose Events? And tell us, I guess, the services that you do. We'll talk about more about weddings, but so let's start with that.
Yeah, so super exciting. So it feels a little bit strange to implement a business in the peak of COVID. I was wild and crazy enough to do so. So Wild Rose Events was formed and originated from me planning my own wedding in the height and peak of COVID in March 2021. I was very lucky enough to marry my sweetheart, who's now my husband. So Wild Rose originated with the name. So I was named Rosie as a child, and it just resonated with me. So, for me, Wild Rose Events was it took off straight away. The reason why I got into wedding planning, I've had a management background my entire career. I've been to university. I've trained, I studied business, but I also found that there was a neglect in the market in weddings. I could see from planning my own wedding, the highs, the lows, the stresses, and also the need for having someone there on the day. We find that we plan and we plan and we plan. We have all these exciting and amazing vendors. Everyone shows up on the day, but who's coordinating them? Who's there to go, yeah, Jeff's here, ready to go. I'm the celebrant. I'm here. Where do I put my PA? Who do I talk to? Where do I go from here? I'm not even sure exactly where I'm setting up. And there's a common misconception with what a venue manager does and what an actual wedding planner and coordinator does. So for me, my services is about providing all personalized service for my clientele. Wedding planning and wedding planners are not a luxury item. There's definitely a misconceived idea that, we get portrayed on these big sort of love rom-com movies that, you sit in the golden chair in the golden office when you go and meet the wedding planner, and it's extravagant amount of money to have a wedding planner, and it's this luxury, very bougie sort of, an item that, basically gets, ticked off a list if it's in your budget. But for me and my services, I like to feel that I'm for, a lot of couples that are working full time, who want to have the most exciting, amazing wedding with all of their amazing vendors, but just don't have the time to be able to plan it. And also on the day coordination as well. So the services that I provide are fully personalized. I understand that each individual couple have a different experience, have a different vision for their day. We essentially take that, we take all of their ideas, their budget, their scope, and bring it all into one amazing day. And I coordinate all those vendors on the day as well.
So right, and it's not taking away from the good work that that venue managers do, but that's their role. They look after their
absolutely
venue. That's it. And I can't tell you how many times I get there, and and whilst I don't mind, but I'm usually one that's like, well, okay, someone's got to do it. It's only because
let's get started.
Well, okay, well, are you there? Are you there? You like, I mean, that's just right. Me. I mean, I could just turn up and just do my job. It's not my problem. But
That's right.
it does become my problem, because years of experience has taught me that, well, if I don't do it, who's going to do it? Now, that's what I mean. It's not taken over from the venue manager. And a lot of them, a lot of the venue managers, they coordinate, when the, bride's walking down the aisle, and, or, the couple's walking down the aisle and things like that.
That's right.
But it's outside their scope of what they need to do. And then,
absolutely.
And you're right where the wedding planning, you're not going to go to a meeting. I mean, hey, if you've got the budget, sweet. But the meetings are not all about sitting there with Vogue Bridal picking out which crystal glassware you're going to have, or
absolutely
which
not.
wandering peacock you're going to have at your ceremony. It is really about.
That's exactly right.
That's what people think, and it's I think they need to look at, and maybe you agree, they need to look at, what is their time, and what's the stress level, what's it worth to be able to pay someone to go, just don't worry about it. Like, just, what I mean? Like, they're actually paying not for someone with the misconception as well to go, well, you stand there and you do this. It's not that. It's that everyone arrives, everyone this, everyone that, everyone knows what they're doing, and that's what you want on that day.
Absolutely.
So
and it's timeline management, and that's exactly right. So, with our services, it's all of the lead up that we do on the day. So there's a lot of behind the scene works that Wild Rose Events does on the lead up to your wedding. So it's all little different intricate details that happen before the day. So when we say on the day coordination, essentially, yes, it is me being there on the day for 5 to 6 hours as a stock standard package, being there to coordinate all of your vendors. But there's a lot of work that leads up to that as well, with the bouncing back of emails, the phone calls. It's the full timeline of their day as well. Not that we always, stick to it to a T, but it's also a run sheet for our vendors to know that, where the bride or the groom, or, the groom and groom, whoever it is that are getting ready, and it's knowing those little finer details that you don't want to have to stress the bridal party on the day when it's their wedding day. And I always use the analogy of, you don't want to be called on your wedding day when you've got hair rollers in your hair and you've got the cake maker on the phone, and she says that she's sprinting all the way from Newcastle to the Hunter Valley, and she's about to lose reception and she has no idea what the venue is. What do you do? So you've just taken a phone call, you're in a flustered mess, you're trying to get your makeup done, you've got hair rollers in, and then what? You've got nothing. You're worrying about, is my cake going to be here? Am I going to be cutting my cake? Will I have a cake? And it's all those things that you don't have to stress about, that an actual wedding coordinator on the day takes care of. And that's what we do with Wild Rose Events, that we take the stress away from our couples, but we don't minimize their day either. All of our couples are completely involved in the planning process. They're completely involved in the creative process, but we just take over and we take that stress on ourselves, and we take it away from them.
And I can't tell you how many, because sometimes, like, I've married them and then I'm further into their reception as their DJ and MC as well.
Yeah.
And I there's at least 3 to 4 out of 10 time to cut the cake, no knife.
Yep.
Or it's still in the box.
Yep.
Or
it happens.
And so here's me. I've got to, and so that's what I mean. It's finer things. It's those finer things, and it might be like, well, again, it's not just saying, well, I'm going to pay someone to pull a cake knife out, but you are on your way. You have a moment that you've planned out in your head to cut your wedding cake, and that's got to be stopped because there's not a knife.
Because there's not a knife in place, and it's silly little details like that. And honestly, you think about it and you speak out loud and you think it's so minor and so silly, but actually on the day when you're actually living in that moment and you've got a photographer that's waiting to take that photo, you've got potentially a videographer on the other side, you've got, potentially 90 guests that are sitting in front of you waiting to watch you cut the cake, and you've got no knife.
And the other thing too,
it's silly things,
The other thing too is it's ongoing, where, and this is the other advantage of having someone, do the timeline and things like this. It's also going, a lot of times couples, they don't have, a lot of them, they don't have a photographer all night. So,
Yes,
and they
correct.
paid their photographer till 8 o'clock. Okay, that's fine. Now, if things aren't running on time,
That's right.
things like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I've in the thousands of weddings I've worked at, I've never seen a wedding run on time. But it's, it's those flow-on ripple effects things where if things aren't running on time, if things aren't happening, then suddenly that's blown out to 8:30, and photographers like, well, then it becomes awkward. Oh, well, do you want to pay me extra? Oh my God, it's too hard. You know what I mean? Do you want to be?
It becomes That's exactly right. It becomes a sort of a sticky situation for everyone. That look, we always want to do right by the client, but at the end of the day, we don't. And I tell that to my clients as well. We don't want to miss the most important parts of your day either.
That's right.
And if those special moments are, having a first dance, cutting the cake, having a father-daughter dance, whatever it may be that's special to your day, that's exactly what we take on board. And that's part of our planning process when we meet our clients, is what makes your special day special to you. And we understand that each individual couple have very different things, but that's what makes it so exciting as well, that every single couple is so different. No two weddings are the same, no two couples are the same, and that's what makes it so exciting about being there watching them on the day. It's exciting, it really is.
And the other thing too, and I mean, everyone's got to start somewhere. I get it.
Yes.
But I've seen it. Well, I've had a wedding. I can run a wedding.
Yeah.
So it's important to have someone with education, experience,
That's right.
someone to go,
Absolutely.
not only can I do this, but here is qualifications
And the knowledge,
checkable experience.
That's right.
Backing that I can do. And look, hey, by all means, it's good that couples have got input from their bridal party and family and things like that. And then, but it's do they really want to be doing it on their day? Do they really want to be coordinating?
That's exactly right.
Which a lot of times they really have no idea about, because as you know, and I know, weddings are they're a dynamic thing. Things can change in a heartbeat. Where
absolutely,
it's I've had things move around in like within 2 or 3 minutes of
absolutely. It goes quickly, and that's exactly right.
So I've had to do it, but and that's where I guess it's having someone there, but also having them there up until the first dance. Up until those kinds of things is even more attractive, as well. And the good, and having someone having you on site, for that amount of time, it creates that, it's that person between the couple and everyone else.
And that's everyone else, that's like exactly right.
Person, oh, hey, Alex, do you reckon we could move our first dance up?
Yeah, and that's it. And it's not going to 7 different people and trying to figure that out. And it's one person that basically directs that lead. So it's as simple as just coming up to me, 9 times out of 10, I'm already a step or 2 ahead of where we need to be in that timeline. I'm always looking ahead. So, I already sort of know when the mains are going out. So we sort of then know, okay, we're then progressing to the next stage. It's all the sort of things that you don't want Auntie Jan doing, because Auntie Jan wants to enjoy a glass of red, and Wild Rose Events wants to be able to enjoy, taking care of your day and making sure that we have all the key details right and all the finer details are locked, ready, loaded, ready to go. And you are getting the photographs back that you want as well, that you're not looking back on your day and going, gosh darn, I really wish that we had more time and did that. And it's about that planning process.
I know, when I've worked with having people on I mean, it's I love it. I just, because I've said to your client, because yes, I mean, look, it usually falls on me. That's fine, but when it's there, I enjoy watching it all. Just I enjoy just doing my job, doing my thing, and watching how other professionals work. And it's such a joy just to see it, and you're like, you know what, this is fabulous. And then saying to the couples, aren't you glad you got? Oh yeah. They're happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
This. And when you look at when you look at I mean, when you look at the different aspects of your wedding and different budgeting and different this and different that, I mean, I know it's not as expensive as people think. It's really not.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
and it's probably an underpaid role at times, but it's like I said, they're buying the convenience of not having to do it themselves.
To do it, it's buying the personalized experience. Yeah,
absolutely. So the and I guess so. Someone I guess touched on this bit. Someone rings up or gets in touch with you and says, "Look, you know what? I just got engaged, or I'm just throwing my hands in the air. It's too hard." So obviously, we talked about you're able to do the planning and the this. Someone says, "Oh, is there people you work with? Can you source different suppliers? Can you recommend different suppliers? Can you do that for them?" Froze.
Have a quick look again. I think it froze a bit.
Yeah, that's all right. That happens. I think everyone's on the internet tonight. So yeah, I mean, can you source everything for these couples, or at least
absolutely,
put them in touch with them? So what's the kind of process?
So as soon as someone gets in touch with me, and they, normally speaking, someone gets in touch with me through the website or Facebook or wherever it's from, Instagram. There's so many places these days. Firstly, I introduce myself, who I am, what I'm about. I give them a package proposal. So I then start to slowly gauge what they do have, or what they don't have and what they need. And it can be sourced from everything right down to celebrants. Do you need a photographer? Do we need a venue to begin with? Are we having a cake? Are we having a cheese wheel? Are we having a donut wall? What are we wanting? The world is your oyster. We can do whatever you want. If you want a donut wall, if you want a 6-tier cake, if you want a big cheese wheel, I'm down for it. I'm down for absolutely anything. You shoot ideas at me and I'll shoot them back. We can make your wedding as large or as small and intimate as you like. We also specialize in micro weddings as well. They've become a really hot favorite at the moment. So midweek weddings, I absolutely adore them. What better way to break up your week, get all your best friends, your loved ones, and take several days off work and go to a wedding and have a kick-ass time during the middle of the week as well. So we specialize in it all, so from start to finish. So our full wedding planning package takes you from the very beginning, so where we start your planning journey right from when you first got engaged, basically, right through to booking all of your vendors, being at every single venue meeting that you have with that venue manager, taking through a personalized service. And then I'm there on the day watching you say your vows to each other in front of your celebrant, in front of all your loved ones, taking you right through to your first dance, your cake cutting. I have a glass of wine with you, I cheers and say congratulations to the happy couple, and you guys are married. And it feels like it's that short and quick. There's so much that goes involved, you know, in the middle of the sandwich. But yeah, we're there every step of the way. We can be as involved as you'd like, or we can be there just for the coordination. But we definitely we work with several vendors, and we can definitely let you know a lot of our preferred vendors that we work with all the time. But that doesn't mean that it's cookie cutter. We if you have a particular photographer that you like, I've been dying to get in touch with Stories of Mel, or I've been dying to get in touch with this person. No problem. We shoot them an email. We pick up the phone. We make a call. We go, hey, I've got this couple. They absolutely adore you. They love you. Can you send me through your packages? And it's as simple as that. It's about taking out the hard process of them having to send off 10 emails to different photographers and receiving, and you know it, Jeff, receiving 20 emails back. And you know, because your inbox is probably just as full as mine, how many emails you get as someone that's planning a wedding, and you're looking at it and you're going, hold on, was that photographer I emailed yesterday, or was that one? Oh, wait, did I like that one more than that one? And it's about taking control of that situation for them and providing the options within their budget without minimizing their day as well. But it also means that they're not getting 50 emails into their email box, you know, and being confused. And then it instantly becomes overwhelming. They don't want to deal with it anymore because they've got 50 emails in their box. And they've just been at work all day. And I tend to find, and I tell my couples, it is like having a second full-time job planning a wedding. It really is when you work full-time as well.
I know that
it's mayhem.
I mean, today, so a couple, lady bride, so her makeup artist can't do her date, and because I know a bit about them or her and her budget expectations, things like that, then and it's very much case in point. She asked me, you know, do you know any makeup artists? I said, absolutely. So what I did was I said, you know what, I've got just the one who I thought is going to fit them. Got in touch with the makeup artist, said, hey, this is the date, this is the email address, can you send you know, the lady information? Done. Back checked it up and said, hey, have you sent it? Sweet. Talked to the bride. Did you get it? Yeah. So I mean, that's I like doing that in my business, in how I do it anyway. But what's happened is it's so much easier, and it's not going, so one, bride doesn't have to put it out there, hey, looking for a makeup artist, because she's going to get about 150 comments on any Facebook page. And
absolutely,
it makes sense. So like myself, you would be doing the same thing, going, okay, what's a budget kind of thing? Where are you located? There's no point sending them a makeup artist from Sydney if they're getting married in Newcastle. Well, maybe you can, but it's a very
it's fielding it.
It's fielding, and the more often than not, which I mean I'm grateful for the people that I work with, the couples will book them because it's come through a recommendation. It's come through a bit of you know, research has been done. I know the response back from the couples. They love it. They're like, this is so good that you're able to just research this stuff. Here it is. Didn't have to worry about it. They're sold. So that's just a small component, though, how it works for me. But then you're able to do that with 50 other things
across the board. That's exactly right. And that's what we try to do, Jeff. We try to make sure that everything is as streamlined but personalized as well. That, you know, we're not just treating our clients like they're a number and, you know, take a ticket, you're a number. It's not that. We understand that everyone has their own different budget. We understand that everyone has their own different style. And we work with them. It's about engaging with that client firstly, when that initial lead comes in, and actually understanding, is your wedding on the Central Coast? Is your wedding in Sydney? Like you said before, you're not going to be able to provide them details of vendors and the information and plan their day based around if their wedding's in Sydney. Well, ideally, ideally in a location point of view, that we're not going to start dragging people up from the Hunter and driving 2 hours, south to go and do their day. We all know that potentially there could be a travel charge for that. So why would we? And also potential chance for breakdowns. As a planner, we're always looking ahead at all the potential possibilities that could happen. So, it's all questions that we ask at the very beginning, that, we don't just go, here's 20 vendors, go for gold. It's all personalized to them. You start to get an idea and a feel for each couple, and who they are. And it's about asking them questions. How did you guys meet? How long have you been together? What sort of wedding and style are you looking at? These are all the questions that we ask in the very beginning to make sure that, we want to make sure that we get the right fit for you guys. B, that we fit your budget. And that's a big one that we always, ask as well. It might feel daunting and it might feel a little bit awkward at times. We just try to make it as stress-free as possible when we have that conversation. It's not any sort of attack or awkward feelings or anything like that. It's just so we can be able to get an idea about what you guys want and what we can provide you, and making sure that we can still provide you the best wedding that you can have. Because we've blown our budget. That's not what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. So so look, we've come to a point where, and I like this bit, I call this the shameless plug bit. So the lovely thing about Zoom is it gives us half an hour and then it kicks us off. But so where can people find you? Where do they find you? And I guess across your social networks and your website. And of course, I'll be putting this up when I share the event. We'll share this video later on my pages and things. But so where do people find you and get in touch?
Okay, so people can find me. So firstly, if you want to head over to my website, so wildroseevents.com.au, you'll be able to go and scope what I'm all about. So you'll come to the About Me page. You can read up a little bit how we formed, who we are, what you'll be able to get with me. You'll be able to sort of gauge that I'm quite a bubbly person anyway. So be prepared for loads of coffee, potentially a cocktail or two, if we catch up as well. If you wanted to check out my socials as well, so I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Definitely head over to Instagram. You'll be able to see all my recent work, lots and lots of beautiful couples that I've worked with, lots of different vendors that I've had the opportunity of working with as well. We also have a great special that's going to be announced on Sunday. Unfortunately, we were going to be attending this year's Winter Hunter Weddings Expo that was coming up on the 8th of August. Unfortunately, due to some restrictions at the moment and some change of events, we can't attend. Doesn't mean that we won't be back bigger and better, hopefully in January next year. But for all of our couples that are looking at getting married, who are recently engaged, for the month of August and September, we will have 10% off all of our packages. So if you are looking at a wedding planner or getting some coordination or any sort of planning services, big, small weddings, you name it, micro weddings, midweek weddings, it's all 10% off. So that even goes for our full wedding planning packages as well. So
head over to the website. So you book them in August and September for how far out?
how far out? So we are looking at booking into 2022 and 2023. So that even goes for our 2023 weddings.
Right.
So if we do understand that with a couple of the restrictions, we have some couples that, you know, have already booked their wedding for 2021, but might be postponed. Rest assured, those couples are still eligible for that deal. If you've just recently planned an event and you're feeling a little bit stressed and under the weather, please feel free to get in touch. I'm more than happy to be able to help if you're looking at getting another vendor that, you know, might not be able to postpone to your new date, or if you're looking at needing the extra set of hands for coordination or any planning services, you'll be eligible as well. So any 2022, the rest of the year, if you are looking at getting married and you're still forging ahead with your date, I'm your girl to be able to do that as well. So for the month of August and September, that's that special that's on.
Excellent. Well, listen, it's been great to have a chat with you. Thank you so much for being part of the Joined by Jeff Marriage Celebrant Zoom sessions, and we will no doubt carry on, get through life's crazy time, and we will talk again soon. Bye.
Absolutely.